Hey guys, Brad here. I just got through checking out XCOM 2. I'm here with Garth DeAngelis, the lead producer on XCOM 2. So first things first, can you explain the new setup for this game? I know it's a little bit different from Enemy Unknown as far as the approach that you're taking.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit different. We're really excited about it. It's a little bit of a twist in the sense that the game takes place 20 years after the events of Enemy Unknown. But the event being an Enemy Unknown that the player lost. And they lost pretty early in the events of the game. And we like that. I mean, did you play through Enemy Unknown?
Yes, I lost a lot.
Did you lose, right?
Yes.
Right. So, you helped jointly design the story for us with XCOM 2 without really noticing it. A lot of our player base lost. I mean, a lot of the developers lost the first time we played it. It's a challenging game. So we thought that was an interesting kernel to hold on to and say, what if XCOM did lose? That's a universe that they would really be needed in if aliens occupied Earth.
For sure.
And we advanced 20 years. You would need to rebuild XCOM. You have more odds stacked against you to be able to take Earth back.
Gotcha. So how does this new setup change up like the metagame, like base building and whatnot, since you are on the attack this time?
Yeah, you are. You're on the attack, but you're also fostering this resistance.
Yes.
So on the strategy side of the game, you will have a mobile base. You'll be able to now not just be underground in this one location. You sort of have this retrofitted alien vessel that you can fly around the world, and you're sparking a resistance.
Okay, so is the end state going to be similar to how it was before, where you would lose funding? I mean, I guess it's different, right? Because you're resistance.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're focusing more on the tactical side. I could give you that high level for strategy, but you're going to have to wait to hear more about strategy.
Okay, well, good thing, because I have some questions about the tactical. You're going with completely procedurally generated maps this time.
That's
correct? Right. What's the reason why, or what are the advantages or maybe disadvantages of going that route versus kind of a more handcrafted map system?
Yeah, the handcrafted map system worked really well. They were beautiful maps.
Yes.
They were really well designed, and the community seemed to like them. But the downside to it was we heard from players that played a lot. They started seeing the same map twice. Yeah. And in XCOM, you want as much replayability as possible. We want to have a system that supports players sort of having this feeling of, I don't think I've ever seen this before. So the procedural system allows us to have these layouts where you will never see the same layout twice.
Okay, wow. So, but are there, during like story missions, like for example, the assault on the alien base, is there just going to be handcrafted maps for bigger story moments like that, or is everything procedural?
There's going to be procedural elements on every map.
Okay, wow. Okay, so I noticed that this one seems a lot more cinematic even. There's a lot more cinematic angles. It even looked like it was to the point where the story was being infused in a more cinematic way into the actual battles. Is that something that... Is there like a system for that? Is that going to happen more often in random maps, or was the demo we saw a story mission? It was hard to tell.
The demo you saw was a story mission.
Okay.
That helped to set up the stage for what the world is that we're in. It is very important to us to push the cinematic flavor of combat. Mm-hmm. We want to push that even further than what we did in Enemy Unknown. We had the glam cams, you had the enemy reveals. Now you're going to see when enemies do abilities, the camera cuts down to them and shows them in all of their glory, binding the XCOM unit, or shooting out their Viper tongue. Or the sectoid using their psionic abilities. You'll see that nice up and close, and we want to have those cinematic moments alive and well.
So speaking of this new snake-like enemy, absolutely terrifying. Is this like the new chrysalid of this game, the thing that you see and you want to run away as far as you can?
Sometimes I do think the team is just like, what sort of nightmares or phobias can we push on? And the snake might be XCOM 2's, but there is other terrifying stuff that we're not talking about today.
Because it's XCOM. You got to find that out on your own.
That's right.
Can you say anything about as far as like new classes go? I know there was one unit that had like a little drone flying over his head.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever saw what that did. Maybe you can.
So that's the specialist, and the specialist is a great all-around unit where they can support their comrades. They can send the gremlin, we call that drone the gremlin, out to support their comrades. The gremlin can do other things such as hack enemy robotic units as well.
Yeah,
so the turret, which was on top of the van, the specialist directed the gremlin to go up there, hack their system, so then XCOM could turn the tables on the enemy and take over the turret.
That's right. That looked really cool. I noticed I saw like a statue very similar to this one behind me outside. That alien looked a lot like a hybrid. Are there alien hybrids in the game? Are we talking about that? Yeah.
You will have to wait and see.
Okay.
But there's certainly some hints. He looks quite glorious. A little more so than the short and squat feral sectoid from the Enemy Unknown times. I mean, the aliens have advanced 20 years, and they evolve much faster than humans, and they're doing some things to get that result.
What about a lot of the new stuff you introduced with Enemy Within? Are we going to see some of that coming back? Am I going to have my mech again?
There will be certain mechanics and systems that players will know and like from Enemy Unknown. However, we are using very much a clean slate, which is in line with the story, because XCOM didn't advance that far technologically, and in fact they were disbanded. Now you have to rebuild everything from the ground up. It really is a clean slate, and you're going to get some new systems to work with to play and have some new effects on the battlefield.
Excellent. Have any of the more popular mods out there, like the Long War mod, influenced anything as far as the campaign? Is there a way to maybe keep going and stuff?
The Long War was super influential, just in the sense that it inspired us to see what the community can do with the game, and that led to us. I mean, we knew when we ended Enemy Unknown that we really wanted to do a better job with modding support. So we're going to give the community way more modding tools. We're going to give them the Unreal Editor. We're going to give them gameplay source. So total conversions, partial modifications will all be possible. Stuff like the Long War, you're going to be able to see a lot more of that now.
Awesome. A couple more questions. Is there anything you could tell us as far as advancements in the multiplayer this time around? Is there going to be multiplayer?
There is going to be multiplayer. Okay. You will still be able to craft your dream team of either all aliens or a mix and match. And the cool thing is you can now play those matches on procedural maps.
Okay, cool. Really cool. That's really good for multiplayer. Yep. And one last question, I guess the question a lot of people are asking, why the choice for PC only this time around?
Yeah. You know, it was a tough decision, but Firaxis has a PC pedigree. And when we looked at the things that we wanted to do with XCOM 2, we said this will allow us to make the best game possible, just focusing on this platform. And then when you look at things like modding and how important that is to us right now, it just made sense for us to focus on PC.
Okay, so does that mean that we're probably not going to see a tablet version of the game either?
You know, I honestly don't know. I don't know, and I can't say at this point. So we're really focusing on PC.
Okay, well, the game looks great. Thanks for talking to me. And for more interviews and videos, head to 4PlayerNetwork.com.